ask you, sir, is this. I know that now you do less of work, probably because of age and the rest of it. And I'm sure you see a lot of Nigerian movies now, both on African Magic and I'm sure you see some on Netflix. Which of the young actors that you see, that when you watch, that you see that when you were young, that you look at it that, oh, these people are getting it right?
All right, let me start by making a confession. I'm not very good at watching movies. I just came down now to go and see you, and this is one of our movies being on now. And down here, I probably would have been watching tennis players or football or something. You know.
What's your team, sir?
Hmm?
What team do you support? I saw you were watching Premier.
Man U.
Oh, okay, sir.
You know, I trained as a broadcaster in the BBC, and the moment you get there, you realize that the team that touches the most is Manchester United, and you identify with you. You have to identify. So that's my team. I don't know about the other Chelsea or something, but the young men are all doing very well. The ones I watched, that was a couple of years ago. Now the young man I am missing a lot in the movie industry. His name is Bimbo Manuel. I don't know whether he's still there.
He's still there. He's still there. He's still, but he chooses carefully the works he does.
Good.
No, I think it's mainly Netflix and cinema now.
I got to meet him so many years ago. Very good actor. A very, very good actor. There are a few others in the family branch. There's a friend of mine. He's a very good actor, but he prefers to stay in England most of the time. He's a Yoruba guy. We brought us together with Shakespeare. Duruni, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Duruni.
He's a professor.
He's a professor.
Professor
He's retired.
Duruni, yeah.
He's retired from university.
No, then he's not him. Duruni, I think, was lecturing in the University of Lagos.
Yeah.
He was in charge of light when we did things fall apart. So I remember him very well. He must have retired by now. Yes. It was exceptional. It was wonderful. Do you know? I think. You know, it's one of the gurus certainly. I think he stays in England most of the time. He's not also married, because I think he was characters on this part. But he's not young. But there are other, you see, most of the actors we have today, they're very good, depending on the genre they have to interpret, you know. In our own day, what mattered to us was mainly lines. For example, I grew up on Shakespeare, and it gives me a lot of joy because whenever I sit with people and we discuss movies, when I branch out on Shakespeare, everyone starts clapping for me. That's what I enjoy. It shows that you're grounded in the classics, right? What I see today is there's a lot of violence, and that's something I detest strongly. You know, I don't like violence. The way women are being portrayed and the way they are living their lives too, I don't find commendable. A woman gets out drunk, staggers home, and the husband is there waiting for her out of concern. Where are you coming from by this time? And what she says is, if you know what is good for you, let's get out of my way, let me go and lie down. In our day, if you say something like that, you'll be a corpse. You can't tell a man that kind of thing in our day. I can't imagine me sitting in the house and waiting for you to come back. Then you stop, step into the house, you're staggering, you're reading of alcohol, and you look at me, you're not even intimidated by my size, and you're saying, if you know what is, oh, come on. If you know what is good for you, I'll beat you into a ball. I mean, I'm telling you what I will do. Whether it's in the script or not, I like being natural, right? By the grace of God, I think, at the risk of sounding immodest, I have won more roles than any other person in the industry. I don't know how it happened, but it just happened, right? A lot of them come from overseas, right? Because of what we put in our scripts, it's not very easy to analyze the aesthetic profundity of the interpreters, you know. What they are doing is not challenging, because I mean anybody can carry a gun and shoot carry. It's not, you don't have to rehearse that. You know, once you tap the trigger, everybody's going down. That's most of what I look at that lady now. You can see her quarreling, and you know, hey, come on, you're good. This is women, you know. Unfortunately, today most of our women can't cook. And it's a tragedy. They can't cook. They used to shower, but they can't cook. I don't know what, I'm being very honest, they can't cook. Our mothers went for training before they went to live with their husbands. And they knew why they got married. Not to challenge their husbands of whose right it is to do what, but to ensure that they represent not just sexual company, no. You are responsible for running the home. The man gets out, he's battered by so many developments, he staggers home. The woman is there. What you represent is comfort, solace. This man comes back, look at him, you nurse him like a baby. Sit down, you know, take the shoes off and all that. I've prepared your favorite meal, you know, something like that. We don't see it in our productions, and it pains me. It pains me because it is shattering the foundation of our marital values, and it's not. It is sad. So when I watch some of the movies, when I do, I appreciate, I enjoy the movies. Make no mistake about it. But like I said, I don't find the movies challenging. That's what I mean. I want to sit down and hear lines. Like, if you go to Hollywood today, there's somebody called Anthony Hopkins. Now, both of us were inspired by the same person, Sir Laurence Olivier, right? There are very few Nigerians who know that name, but he inspired us. The day I saw this man, I said to myself, Olivier inspired this man. Then when he was being interviewed, was my son here, he rushed to me and said that, this man said Olivier, and I said yes. Watching him, it's easy to tell that he was inspired. Now, for you to make it as a good actor, somebody must inspire you. If you look at Denzel Washington, it is easy to tell that Sidney Poitier inspired him, right? in our own case, it's difficult for you to get somebody who will say, this man mentored me from a distance. I don't know why it is like that. So I can't tell you I'm in love with any of the performers. No, I'm not. They're doing their best within limitations, Maybe if you talked about producers, etc. My friend's daughter, Kemi, what's the father's name now? Hey! Kemi Edochie. I went to work for the husband in Lagos. I didn't know he was the husband, and I said, look, there's a woman I want to meet. She's the daughter of my friend. Her name is Kemi Edochie. I want the man laughed. Then when he told me she's my wife, I looked at him. He said, please, sir, sit down and wait. And he called her. When she drove, I said, yes, that is Adetiba's face. This is the lady, right? How's your dad? Then fine, call your dad. I will just speak to him and let's see what happens. When he remembers me. Then he called the father, Dele. I said, good afternoon, Barry. He said, wait, I know this boy, I know this voice. He come again. I said, good afternoon, Dele. How did you? Peter! He left. His name is Peter. Dele left his house. I sat down with Dele for up to 4 hours. In fact, it was this Peter who came to remind me I got time to go to bed. They will hug each other. She is something else. I can talk about, but we have come a long way, and we have progressed tremendously. We've been creating a lot with our computers. The young men who started things early, one of them, it's called Simi. Where Simi is? I'm not even sure you know Simi.
He's in the US.
Simi was a wizard when it comes to, There's another one too, he was exceptionally good. But he involved the women too, along the way. But it was something else. You see, when you come to movies, the people who actually see the morality in projected movies are your people. Yeah. We churn these things out, for commercial rewards. But when you're thinking about for historical purposes, what you can leave for posterity, the work you do is more profound. Unfortunately, you do it in your language most of the time. So those of us who are interested in drama, we can't understand it, except we have some subtitling, because I only learned yesterday that one of my friends had died. That's something with age. I've forgotten his name now, but he was always telling stories on TV. I don't know, people are so young. He was telling stories on TV in those days. I remember him. Jimmy, thank God bless you, yeah. Jimmy, my friend Jimmy, I heard that Jimmy had died. I only heard this thing yesterday. Jimmy is one of the greatest talents this country has produced. Yeah, I heard that Jimmy had gone, yeah. There was one other guy too. He did Shogo and
Femina Sodi.
Huh?
Oba Femina Sodi.
No, that Obama became later. If you call this man's name, he did Shogo. The first time we met was in I think when we came together for first time, it's huge, you know. When you look at him, when he stands up, you will see Sean. You know, he doesn't have to rehearse it. You know, he was just Shango. You know. I'm not so sure he'll still be alive now. I'm not. You know, because by then age was beginning to threaten him, but you know, he still stood his ground. You know, yeah, you know. So when we were there for first time, I met a lot of these characters. You know, in fact, that was the first time I met some Oloketuyi, you know, camera. And these people were good. They were exceptionally good. When they did language and they feel, you know, it's good. That was stage. And from stage, of course, we grew into film. And our girls are very good. Our girls are very, 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 very good. You know, maybe because of the rules they are given to interpret and all that, you know, they end up being like miracles, you know. But they are good.
I remember you used to be very fond of Genevieve.
Yes, Genevieve. Genevieve was one of my daughters that I loved most. After Genevieve, then Omotola. You know, I punished Genevieve in a production and I felt so sorry. I had to go and bring her hug and say, look, it's the script. I'm not as bad as this script portrays. No. So we, you know, then in Omotola's case, Omotola always enjoyed roasted yam and fresh palm oil. And I would carry, when she played my daughter, I would carry her to Ethiopia to go and collect this. And he was telling me then that the father was very fond of me. And you see, both of them were very exceptional. They were immensely talented and were very, very look. Omotola is a very emotional performer. Yeah. And if you move Omotola to tears, I think that's what you love her most. When she's they were the two daughters I was particularly from. You know, I enjoyed them a great deal. There were others, you know, but they were not quite as close to me as Genevieve and Omotola. There was Stella Damascus or Damascus. She showed me so much affection during that production because, I mean, we finished late at night, she would carry me back and it was so good. But the problem I had with her was that before you complete a production, you must tell her that she has somewhere to go, get to England or whatever. And that, you know, some things put me off a great deal, you know. When a guy like this sits down to commit himself to production, there's some little kids come and roll up to ransom, you know, going to go and do this. Otherwise, he's a very good actor, you know. So, like I said, our girls are good. Our girls are very good. Very, very good. Men are doing their best too. I think the women are beginning to colonize them a lot. I don't like seeing men wearing earrings. It upsets me, you know.
We're in the same place of mind. I was having a conversation with my friend. I have 3 daughters. I don't have a son. So we're having a conversation. That my friend has 1 daughter. So we're talking, and I was not saying. Somebody walked in, and that person plates his hair. So I now told my friend that I don't think I would like one day for my daughter to bring a guy who plates his hair. So my friend was telling me that it doesn't mean, it depends on what the guy is doing. And I said, I will not totally put my foot on the ground, but I will let my daughter know I don't like it.
Good. And that's what makes a man. You see, not to play around the fact that you disapprove of it. I don't look. right. Assuming I was living here and there's some vacancy here, and the young man with braids comes here and says he has the vacancy here, I will have this security people to throw him out wherever, Yeah, I mean, first of all, you look at it, whatever it is that he represents, scrambles you to. I mean, you see our men now, where before maybe this decade runs out, they'll be getting pregnant. I'm being, yeah, it's not, it upsets me a great deal. It does. It does. Then, it does. First of all, I didn't even like the layout. Then I gave Blake the script. See if you can go through it and tell me what it's all about. On the very first page, two men were making love to each other. And this what you want Pete Edochie. You see, because of the kind of upbringing I had, I'm a champion of moral rectitude. I don't believe that you must compromise morality because you're shooting a film. It's hey, how can
Sir, I don't want to. I know we can go on for hours because of everything, but I'll just pinpoint everything to two last questions so I can allow you to.
All right, okay.
The first one is that it's not only a question, it's a suggestion, and I'm ready to work with you on this. I think that the stage that where you are now, we all need to learn a lot from you. If you sit down and talk to people for 1-2 hours, what they will learn is more than somebody spending millions of naira to go to Harvard. You understand? In terms of how to we are in a state in Nigeria now that we need all our best brains to reset our youth. You understand? Because most of our young people who are between the ages of 18, 19, 20, 21, they don't want to work. I was I interviewed the director yesterday, and he said before they had a lot of young people who come who will say they want to learn how to hold the camera, they want to be continuity people. But most of those boys now are going to do bets.
Yeah.
They are doing bets. So they are not interested, they see easy money. They are instead of stressing themselves for 7-8 days on any movie location. And the girls, they are following Yahoo boys, and most of our girls in between the ages of 18, 20, 23, they are heavily on drugs. So I feel that you are one of the few people that wherever you enter in this country, not even in this country, in Africa today, everybody respects you. You owe the youth a lot to try to talk to them about life. You understand? The few minutes we've spoken there, I have learned a lot. I don't know about it, but I have learned a lot. You understand? And whatever I've learned, I'm going to make use of it. So I feel that I'm going to be talking to him. We should find a way for you to talk to cross-section of youths across Nigeria. If it is a day in Lagos where youth will be put together, you will sit down and talk to them about life generally. Talk to them about why hard work pays, for example. A lot of youth does not believe hard work pays.
No, they don't
understand. Talk to them about what it means to be patient about even life, that life is stage by stage. A lot of our youth, like one of my friends used to say, that they've not walked this walk of a bicycle tire. They want to be driving SUV. You understand? And that drives them if you read the news today, you hear that a 14-year-old boy killed somebody for ritual,
Yeah.
a 16-year-old,
Yeah.
and you ask yourself, what does a 14-year-old boy need money for? That to the extent of going to commit ritual. Because when I was 14, the only thing I needed money for was to go and watch football in the stadium. So maybe the maximum crime I was committing there was that they were giving me money to go for lesson, and I was going to use it to watch football. That's the maximum crime I can imagine. So but now you hear that 14-year-old, 16-year-old, they kill human beings,
Yeah.
and it doesn't mean anything to them.
Yes.
So I think that the nation needs people like you, who is well respected, to bail us out. You understand? I will talk to the links who will think of something. If it is just to do Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt, you sit down, talk to people. We are not going to make, we are going to arrange in a way that is not going to be free. We are going to talk to multinationals to say Pete Edochie is wants to, just like how tenants does. When you, apart from the fact that when you talk those stuff, people will listen. It will be recorded, put on social media, on different things. Look at the way you have not this evening, you have not mentioned anybody's name, but you have spoken about cross-dressing. You have spoken about all the major issues that is hurting us now. This LGBT, all the rest of it.
Worst,
You understand? You have touched that. A lot of our youth needs to know, because like somebody always shout on social media, you might not like the person, but what the guy always says is that the reason why those things is rising is because they saw one person who was broke, who looks very wretched, but suddenly when he started living in a highbrow area in Lagos. He started driving cars. Police were guiding him. So it means that there is money there. That's why a lot of youths are doing it. But we need to tell them that apart from money, there is a lot to life.
Let me tell you why I'm laughing. The other time, if you saw young men, their trousers wouldn't stick to their waist. The trousers would only be coming down, right? They spring their attitude to. You know, a lot of them don't even know how all that stuff started. Some guys committed some crime in America, and they were sent to prison. By the time they came out, they were so lean, their trousers couldn't hang on their waists. So these trousers were going down like that, you know. This, and I mean, they came out wearing this thing, and people just thought, look, this is the craze of the moment, full stop. And they started doing it, right? And it is difficult to convince the guys who were doing this that these are prison ex-convicts, you know, who are, it's so difficult, right? You know, it's difficult to be, it's just like when some black guy said, look, we don't like white people that made them, and somebody said, look, you're talking about not liking white people. You're always wearing their materials. You're wearing their what, you know. Why don't you create your own? So that if you're wearing yours, if you say you don't like whites, there be some justification. People say they were good. They have created theirs. So they came up with FUBU. A lot of people didn't know what it meant in Nigeria. But we should move it till now. FUBU means for us, by us. So these black guys created their own designs, and they wanted to look sartorially different from the white people. And they came up with that label, FUBU, for us, by us. It just so happens that we're not always too keen to find out how some of the interests we pursue originated, right? Whether they go down well with us or not. So we don't bother about all that. What you're saying is good. If I decide to accept that responsibility, you see, money always looks good on me. Then we can discuss it in detail at your convenience.
No,
Hoping that it doesn't clash. Okay, it's all right. We can talk about it later.
it will be so. I will think about it deeply, and I will look at, because we need to save the younger generation.
I agree with you.
And it's not, the government cannot do it again. And if the younger generation is not saved, a lot of like somebody used, I listened to Mrs. Araki's interview one day. She said, if you are just training your own children and you are not concerned about how other children outside are doing, the children that you are training are going to go out and marry those children that are not trained, because your children cannot marry each other anyway. And at the end of the day, it will come back to you.
Yeah.
So that is the reason why that has to happen. My last question, sir, and it's also like, it's a question, also like a suggestion. You have seen it all in filmmaking in Nigeria. Pre-Nollywood, you were one of those who saw it all. I remember that when I was very little, things fall apart. Nollywood, you can actually not mention 10 big Nollywood movies of the DVD era. If you mention 10, you be in 8 that really made it. When the first Nollywood movie to go on international streaming, you were there. That was a David's movie, Lion Heart. You understand?
He's the Lion at himself. Yeah.
So, my is this. In all these years that you've done, I can only remember that you produced one movie. And that was the movie you did for the Christian.
Okay, yeah. The dancing movie.
You understand?
Arrangement. Yeah.
I want to know if we are still going to see a Pete Edochie movie. Not a Pete Edochie appearing movie, but a Pete Edochie movie. We've seen a Genevieve movie, I think 1 or 2 or 3 now. We've seen an RMD movie, Out of Bounds. Then, you understand? Are we going to see a Pete Edochie movie? Maybe something that will, because I noticed that what is happening now, the movies that people are not tired of the movies of mother-in-law and father-in-law. People are now in love with culture movie. And I know how strong you are when it comes to matter of tradition, especially
I don't joke with it. Yeah.
the Igbo tradition. As close as you are to Uncle, as much as you respect him. I remember how you fell out with producers who were trying to use him for a certain role that you felt he didn't portray those times. Am I right?
Those things were fabricated.
Oh, okay.
You see, there is like a few days ago, I granted an interview here. In fact, I talked about this young man who just died, who got drowned. And I said, look, this was a very exciting life cut short. Nobody expected we're going to die that way. We all must die someday. We don't pray to go this way, right? I was appealing to the people who were actually cashing in on that to create plenty of nonsense on social media. Please allow this guy's spirit to rest. Let us pray to God to accept his soul. And then I proceeded to thank E-Money, who has volunteered to train his children and all that. This thing was put out. I saw it unadulterated, it was not tampered with, I enjoyed it. Then it moved to bloggers. God. And I said the spirit of this young man visited him. You see, they didn't stop there. They came out with another one. I am now calling for the police to arrest us. What the heck? You know, look, sometimes I get sick. You know, I mean, how could you proceed to truncate what? And And these people are doing this thing, enjoying patronage, which converts to money, I know. But you see, some people swallow these things hook, line, and sinker, and that's not good. That is not like somebody. There was something they put out one time that I disagree with Olu. On location, we quarreled over money. I don't know. You see, most there was a time they said I fought with some local over piece of it. You see, these things hurt me. Olu grew up in the north, just like I did. Each time we meet, I bring a bottle of Campari and I give to Olu, touch it before I open it. That's our custom. He's the senior. Olu will touch it, then I'll open it. Then we sit down and we begin to drink quietly. Only the last time Olu and I met was at a lar. I was coming out of a location. Olu was coming out of one. And we met at the center of the road. Olu looked at me. Olu had tears in his eyes. He looked at me and said, Pete, our mates are gone. And immediately he said this, the tears came to my head. We just held each other like this. We were being photographed. And we were there mourning ourselves. There, when Olu was saying this thing, some had gone, some local had gone, Syria had gone, Pidene had gone, anybody. They all belong to a group, a range. And when he was saying this thing, it was coming from his heart. And I said to him, well, may the good Lord keep us so that he will be representing those who are gone until he thinks it's time to go. I have never disagreed with Olu for one day. No. Most of these things that people, you see, Olu's wife, there are jokes that we make among ourselves, and only people who are used to us will know what. Immediately, okay, something was going on. So Olu's wife was the coming, she was handling the occasion. I stepped in, she talked about me and all that. Then she came to see me when I sat down. And I said, what about my friend? He said, fine. You know something, brother? Your problems are firmly behind you. This is Olu. And you don't know how that joke started. Both of us were sitting down, we were having a drink. Olu's a very pretty girl. I said, look, the kind of thing we can chat or think we're not doing. No problems. She came, asked a few questions, and she was walking away. Olu just noticed that she was quite ample on the hips. So Olu called her and said, you know something? Do you realize that your problems are firmly behind you? And it is such jokes are not things we take outside our company. Just like when I was in Lagos then, Tunde Oloede is there now.
Yes.
Yinka Creek. This was our group, and we had a few jokes that were certainly not too clean for public consumption. But among us here, we are spewing this thing and enjoying ourselves thoroughly, Olu is being perhaps the only person I respect in the industry as a senior. Yeah. And the first day I heard that Olu was ill, then I saw the wife saying, Olu is not there anymore. I sat down like this and I thought about the last time we met each other and tears came. You will not get to know how close we are until you see two of us together. And what I don't like about this country, the way people, they believe that when the more nonsense you write, the more better. I don't like. Okay, you're here now. We're discussing this thing. Tomorrow, somebody said that you came to my house, 2 dogs chased you out. I had to go and beg the dog. I don't know why they write. Honestly, you see, I don't know why they do this thing, but people like us who are very sensitive, this thing hurt us. Like what you just said. Never discuss. But when Olu shoots in Asaba most of the time, that shooting in Enugu. There was a time I shot in Jos. And then I was shooting in Jos. Olu was shooting in Okwashu. It would not actually feature together for a long time. But I remember there's a production we did that featured 2 of us. The producer made a comment. He said, 2 of you react to each other as if you are twins. I said, if you don't know how we got together and how we started, I mean, that's what I asked you. How did you start this thing? Because quite honestly, the first person who should pick this award up is Olu. I mean, maybe I'm being selfish or sentimental, but I'm telling you the truth. Olu should get it first. Then, of course, it comes to me. But if we put around for 16 years, and we probably operate on the fringes, so we don't get remembered all the time. But at least at last we are being remembered. No. So what the observations you have made, fantastic. I'll give it a folks. Especially
it's very, 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 very important now because our youth looks up. Somebody was saying making an observation. I made a movie about a biopic about Abu Daniel.
Okay.
You understand? So it's coming out very soon. So we're having a meeting. So we're looking for ways to push it. So the movie is making with us. Somebody now made an observation. I now mentioned quite some people. They were saying no. They now mentioned some people. And we now divide into talking about what actually make Nigerian youth follow people. And we're now looking at people who were doing things that they should follow and people who were doing rubbish and the number of followership they had. I'm going to mention him now. We will edit it out. We now mention Bobrisky. Bobrisky has 5 million followers. Femi Otedola has 1.1 million followers. You understand? Tony Elumelu doesn't even have up to 1 million followers. You understand? But they will follow all those Bobrisky and rest of it. And I watched the EFCC chairman, in as much as I don't agree with a lot of things he's doing. I watched him talk about a 17-year-old boy who is an expert in Yahoo and the rest of it. And he said the boy does not even know that what he's doing is wrong.
This is the worst part of it.
That he doesn't know that what he's doing is wrong. That the boy is so good that he adopted the boy that will take care of the people. And the boy came and he only gave the boy his phone number. The boy broke into his system, got his BVN, got his account number.
What?
And told him that I can move money from your account. And I said it's not possible. And then within 20 minutes, he moved 10 million from his account to another account. And I had to now write the Attorney General of the Federation that if we take this boy to prison, we are doing more harm. That because we take this boy to prison, maximum of his crime is 2-3 years. When he gets to prison, he will meet people who will make him, and by the time he comes back, he comes back as a man. But that I want to adopt this boy, send him to the best of school. That with this brain he has, he will be an asset to the country.
Hey, sorry to cut you short. That thing actually happened in the US long before here. There's a guy that broke into FBI 7. But before then, this guy had been monitoring a number of very wealthy people. Hacked into somebody's account, moved as much as I think between $20 and $25 million from another account. Created this thing, but got into their database. This thing was so real, so normal. The day the guy now showed up in the person without the bank arrested, I've never seen this client before. For suddenly, they went from $5 million. We misfired the maybe I think how old is it? 14.
Hey!
So, now I got here. Are you aware that what you're doing is criminal? This thing simply plays with his computer. Okay, call it play. Okay, come with us. So I like older FBI officer, the younger guys that arrested them. We need somebody like this. I don't think you guys realize how talented this boy is. If you search time in the juvenile sector, that would be news. The company will be influenced by a number of angry Latin American prisoners. They get him to do drugs, cover his body with tattoos. The guy comes out very mean, the guy. The guy walked into it and said, okay, they say you're so good. Prove it. It's like I'm shut down the FBI and in 10 seconds you guys do not happen. Give me assistance. All the assistants.
Hey!
Before I could get to the main place, they jump started. It's okay, fine, you have a job, so you're not going to jail, but you will never leave this office. So they signed an agreement. I don't know how old he is, but I think it's happened like mom. 20 to 12 years. And this guy is an asset. There is nothing you cannot hack. And you see, we have people like this in Nigeria.
We have more people in Nigeria.
They don't. There are a lot of people who don't know that
your actions.
that Yahoo thing that they are doing is wrong.
Yeah, that's the worst part of it. They don't believe it's wrong. It's actually they're being entertained. I mean, I don't know, but if there's any way we can handle something like that, maybe I feel happy about it. But it's terrible. By the way, Femi Otedola is somebody I love a great deal, and I'll tell you why. When Christian Chukwu was almost going completely, he sent $50,000, which Christian was flown abroad for treatment, and he came back sound. I mentioned his name in that little thing I put out. All those ones we are caught out, I don't know why. When I did a small record with acknowledgement of a few individuals, I mentioned his name. I would still want to see him someday. I think there was a time he was a governor, right?
In fact,
Okay, before. I was thinking it was him. How old is he?
it should be in his 50s.
50.
Yes.
So some of my kids are even older than okay. Okay, I was thinking, I was thinking was the person who was the governor at the time. Sweet.
He was 60.
Okay.
He was 60 at his last birthday.
Yeah.
We're 60.
Yeah.
So I think it's wrong.
Well, it's just one now. And these are put 15 years on him. It's nothing. That
I
will.
really appreciate this, and I will keep in touch with him. I'll keep in touch with him.
Okay. I did give him up. I still give him up. Right. They're very tall.
Okay.
Ashley. Abatí.